Hello there, Mad Mike here, and welcome back to the channel. And today I want to go over the news that unfortunately on April 30th we lost Peter Mayhew, who many would know as the actor who portrayed Chewbacca in the original Star Wars trilogy, Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, and a partial portrayal in Star Wars The Force Awakens. Um, Now, the main reason why I want to bring this up is because even though Peter Mayhew has a very limited history in terms of his acting career, uh, he has made such an imprint on so many people with the character of Chewbacca. And the thing that people kind of forget about character is that speaking dialogue is only part of the role. It's only part of what you're doing to bring that character to life. The actual physicality of the acting is also what brings that character to life, and that's really what he brought to Chewbacca is all of the physical acting, putting his arms out, conveying emotion through physical motion, which is very hard to do in many cases, as opposed to conveying it, verbally or through dialogue. It is very difficult to do it physically, and Peter Mayhew was able to do it very, very well. And I think that's the reason why that character came to life the way that he did. Uh, and the why we all kind of really love Chewbacca is kind of that overemphasized physical acting. It's kind of the same stuff that you would see back in the silent film era, where they couldn't convey things with words because obviously there wasn't any sound. They had to convey things with their bodies. They had to have these, uh, not over the top, but ability to use their form and their movement to convey emotions and situations and feelings to the audience. And Peter Mayhew again did that very well with Chewbacca. Um, and I know in recent years, Peter Mayhew had had several health problems. He had gotten knee replacements in 2013 so that he could be in Star Wars: The Force Awakens, which he did successfully, even though he had an understudy basically who replaced him in Last Jedi and who will replace him in Rise of Skywalker. But the and who also did most of the physical scenes in in Force Awakens. But it was nice to have him back. But then he also suffered a bout of pneumonia in 2015. He had a spinal operation last year, which was to help improve his movement. But unfortunately, he did die of a heart attack, which is not uncommon for people that are very large. Peter Mayhew stood at 7'3" at the height of his size, which is insane. You think about, you only have a handful of people that are 7 feet tall that are even in the NBA, and apparently, according to his medical history, he did not suffer from gigantism, which a lot of people thought. He was just abnormally large. He was abnormally tall. But again, that adds to the idea of Chewbacca being this huge character, and it's so believable that he is this alien life form, not just from his look, from his size compared to the other people that are in the scene. When you have somebody who's 7 feet tall versus Harrison Ford, who stands at like 5 foot something, it looks monstrous, and that's really the idea of the whole thing. Uh, Little tidbit too, actually kind of funny, is I guess Peter Mayhew had his choice of playing either Chewbacca or Darth Vader. He wanted to play Chewbacca because he wanted to play a hero, and David Prowse wound up physically playing Darth Vader. Of course, the voice was provided by James Earl Jones, but it's kind of interesting if you really want to think about it, because Peter Mayhew is actually taller than David Prowse, I believe. So Vader would have been that much more pronounced in terms of his size if Peter Mayhew had been in that suit. And it's kind of interesting to think about, especially again with all the physical acting, where David Prowse obviously did an amazing job as Vader with the intimidation factor, and I think he was more muscular than Mayhew, which added to kind of the bulk of the suit. But it would have been interesting to see either way, especially if the two had switched roles. If David Prowse had played Chewbacca and Peter Mayhew had been Darth Vader, but Again, it's just kind of interesting little tidbits about Peter Mayhew. Again, there's really not too much about his past. I mean, uh, he was a business owner. He was living in Texas at the time, um, but he stayed relatively quiet for the most part, other than the appearances in the Star Wars films. I don't know if he has part rights to the Chewbacca character, but I know that he had done charity work and stuff where he would go to hospitals and things like that for sick children to cheer them up. He'd be in the suit, but he just seems like it seemed like he was a genuinely nice human being. He doesn't seem like he was one of those Hollywood scumbags, and it's a sad day to see that he has passed on. But we will remember Peter Mayhew, and we will remember the character that he brought to us that so many of us still hold very dear. So even though this is kind of on a sad note, again, thank you for watching. Um, leave a comment on the video with your thoughts. F for Peter Mayhew. Hit the like button, hit the bell for notifications, subscribe, and remember, I live my life free of compromise. Do you?